Welcome back to another episode of the Brandex Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John. Alongside me, Deuce.
Como esta, bitches?
And back, the Jimmy.
How y'all doing?
So last week was a dumpster fire. We had the snowstorm, and then we worked and tried to blow the dust off and fire up Studio B. We got it like 99% straightened out, but we forgot to check to see where you were recording had the right mic pick.
And it's that 1% that made it sound like utter shit.
Bites you in the ass. Well, yes.
For my end.
For our show, I would say it sounded bad. But again, I think it was so bad that we couldn't put it out. Mm-hmm. And then the poor Jimmy, he was out plowing snow.
Mr. Plow.
You
got one of those jackets?
No.
And the poor guy in so much pain. Holy cow, I never heard you in such pain. And here you thought you had a hemorrhoid poking out the old keister, and it wasn't.
Nope, it was an abscessed anal gland. Oh, and you talk about pain.
I'm telling you, I never heard anything, but then...
Did they do the string thing on that?
No. Surgery.
Oh, wow.
Dude, it's not like it's not a hemorrhoid that pops out. In other words, like on a dog, they take a rag, they'll stick it on the ass, they'll squeeze it, and all that black shit comes out of a dog's ass.
No, but okay.
I know. I've
never had a dog taken to the vet for...
We were cat people.
Right. Okay. Well, a lot of times a dog will be dragging his ass across the floor.
I've seen
his
that.
feet up. Okay, so what happens is they have an excess amount of shit in their anal gland. So the doctor will go over there and he'll grab it and squeeze it, and then all this black stuff that smells like death comes out. Yeah. It's not pus. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's pus.
Yeah, it's probably, if it's an abscess, it's probably pus.
Well, they don't have an abscess. I don't know what it is. But anyhow.
Family Hour returns when John, Jimmy, and Deuce are on the air. Right out of the gate, we're talking about anus pus.
Well, he had that. I mean, it was going on over a week. He kept saying I'm like, go to the doctor. How can you stand that? Go to the doctor. He's like, I'm doing sitz baths and I'm putting preparation H on it. That was never going down. Mm-hmm. So he went to the doctors and they said, oh no, that's a anal gland. We got to go in there and they had to prep you for surgery. And,
oh yeah. They were trying to get me maybe to put it off. And I said, I'm not leaving here until you take care of this or I'll do it myself now.
Right.
That's how bad the pain was. I think it started out, there was some hemorrhoid issues due to the pain medicine I was on from something else.
Right. Well, you do a lot of, in the nature of your job, you do a lot of sitting.
Right.
Which they say is very conducive to that.
12 hours in the truck. Yeah. It was terrible.
Well, that's true. But, so anyhow, this thing got inflamed. Then, so they had to go in there and they had to lance it?
I don't know the exact term, but they removed it.
Okay. So then they had to pack it full of cotton.
Yep.
And that didn't go well.
Oh, no. That didn't go well at all. Well, it did as long as I was on the, what's that stuff they give you?
Dilaudid?
Dilaudid. But when that
he got the good stuff.
And I found out there's a national shortage of Dilaudid.
Sure. Everyone's got hemorrhoids.
No, the factory is in Puerto Rico, and it was heavily damaged.
Oh, with the hurricane.
Oh, they get it, really?
Yep, along with a lot of other medical supplies. So there's a shortage.
Shortage of all that because of over in Puerto Rico?
Yep.
Wow.
They get that fixed up.
Didn't know that.
Now, this is from a nurse, not quote. They only had 100 bottles, which are very small, left in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And they have to save that for the surgery patients like me. I got that. It was what they call a PACU recovery. Then they transferred me to a room, and they tried to do it with oral medication, and that was not cutting it.
That's a long way for that to go from oral to your asshole.
Yeah.
It's really taking it the long way, isn't it?
Can't you inject that directly?
Yes. Oh.
Can't you just dip it in
Today
something?
Today is the first day that I can say
there?
I'm pain-free in 10 days.
Are you sitting on the inner tube?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the whole bit. Yeah, my dad had that operation back in the day.
I wouldn't call it funny, ironic. There was 2 other people in the ER the same day with getting the same surgery.
Right. Yeah, that's just called
Do you have a club?
And it was bad
anal gland club?
And I asked the doctor, because I have a few other things going, he said, it's not related. He said, it's just bad luck.
Yeah.
Wow. Just one on top of the other.
The way Genghis used to say, he had a customer and he used to come into pizzeria, and this guy had a kidney transplant, a triple bypass, and then he had a hemorrhoid operation, or an operation with the nether regions. Guess which one was the worst?
The hemorrhoid.
Well, yeah. And then Genghis says, well, think about it. It's not like you break your leg. I mean, you're going to be using that in a couple of hours.
Right.
Oh, and of course they said, "Oh, we want you to eat." I don't want to eat anything.
Let's keep that area clean
and empty. Yeah.
All right. So I always say back pain is the worst pain.
No.
And you've had back pain and you've had this. Which was worse?
Oh, this was by far worse.
Really? This was worse
It's
than
the
back
center
pain?
of your being.
Yeah, and I love I'm not going to mention any names, but the hospital did a great job. But you have to be your own advocate. I said to my nurse, "This is not cutting it." Male nurse, by the way.
Oh, lucky you.
What's not cutting it? The pain medication?
Oral pain medicine. This isn't cutting it. And he says, all right. I said, call who's ever on duty or who's ever on call for my doctor and get this approved. He comes back in and says, oh, I'm sorry. I went into your chart and you're approved for a breakthrough. I can give you an IV fentanyl shot. I said, let's get on that, Skippy.
We're like a junkie with a fork.
He's strapping.
And then less than 12
Tying
hours
off.
later, the surgeon shows up with his trainee and trail, and they're checking it out. And I'll tell you, he doesn't tell you anything. He pulled out that packing.
Mm-hmm.
And I invented
there's yards of it in there.
Yeah, I invented a new language. I'm holding on to that bed rail, laying on my left
You
side.
were speaking in tongues.
Oh, yes. And I actually apologized. I said, no need.
I can hear it now. Oh. Everybody's out in the hallway.
Yeah, it's all fun and games till your asshole's packed full of cotton.
Yes. So, yeah, the IV medicine, IV antibiotic took care of it. But then they wean you off. They want to get you out of there quick. And I said, Doc, there is no way I'm going home today.
How long were you in there?
3 days.
Well, Friday night doesn't count. I didn't get in my room till midnight. So Saturday morning.
They leave you hanging on.
Right.
So, yeah, I got out early Sunday afternoon, which was fine. I was ready to go.
You know, it's funny because I texted him on Saturday and I said, do you need TP for your bunghole? And he's like, no bunghole jokes, Johnny. I was like, okay, all right.
Of course, they came from everybody.
Yeah.
Little too soon.
We went up to, you didn't go that, I don't think I knew you yet. It was one of the first years we went up to Tioga County.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in the summer of '86. And that's when I had my first attack. And that is the apropos word. It is an attack. You have no idea what pain is until your whole asshole collapses. Because that's basically, you're not doing nothing, man. No. I was on that couch. We went up in the summer, and I read Lee Iacocca's book.
That's what you did?
That's all I could do.
Okay.
I mean, after I hiked the canyon, that was just enough to put me in the hospital, just doing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it comes from, yours probably didn't. You got an infection. I don't know what happened with you.
Well, a lot of hot foods, spicy foods. Yes. Which, did you ever see me eat hot peppers?
I did. Remember, we talked about this. I ate 21 that one time and thought my asshole fell out.
I don't eat them no more.
Oh, okay.
Because the doctor said, yeah, well, I says, if I have like 3 or 4 on a sandwich in the course of a year.
That's a lot.
That's about it for me because.
No more long hots for you?
I mean, I had that gripping attack in '86 and that was it for me. I said, never again. I was not doing that.
Right.
That's 32 fucking years ago. I don't think.
And you still remember the pain.
It's like, it's like Genghis said. Yeah, it's the center of your being.
There you go.
Well, I have a cousin that's in worse shape than me. Similar. Now I know what he's going through. He had a scope job, and they got infected. He got
the colonoscopy, and he said they nicked him.
They must have nicked him and gave him an infection.
Ugh.
He's been in such pain, and I can't imagine.
That's the long shot that I hit.
Yeah, you don't hit the lottery.
I don't hit the lottery. That's the long shot.
Well, you could do that test yourself.
Excuse me?
Yeah, okay.
I don't think I'm shoving anything.
That's my wife, who we like to make fun of her.
Oh.
Yeah, Genghis used to like that. They don't really, I think they only just started advertising it again, but there was like some kind of a home test in which you wiped your ass.
Right.
And you mailed the sample
Cologuard, it's off, yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then the lab would analyze what was on there and they would say, okay, there might be something here. You know. So Diane was confusing that with a colonoscopy. Okay. So it was about about 10 or 15 years ago, and somebody was talking about getting a colonoscopy, and she says, "Why do you do that by yourself?" You know, we all looked at her like, "Who in their right mind would want to do that yourself?" And how would you do that? Like, would you have like a big ass mirror up on the ceiling, and you're like just laying on the floor with like the rotor thing? Like, how would you do that? And Genghis got the biggest kick out of that until this day. Sure. Whenever the subject comes up, I said, well, you could do that yourself.
Wise guy, shut up.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I was listening to some other podcasts, and I got to tell you, we need a good laugher. Deuce doesn't do a bad job sometimes. I got to get him in the mood. I got to get you laughing. The 8 beers you had before you got here today, I have a feeling that we'll have a big laugher.
It's just 7.
Okay. But I was just noticing, like, there's other shows that I listen to that, like Who's Right with Doug and Anthony. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I like about the show, I think the show's funny and everything, but I'll tell you what, Anthony is a great laugher. Whenever Doug says something or tells a joke or something like that, he's got this big boisterous laugh, and it makes the show funny. I mean, even back when I was listening to Howard Stern, you always had Robin, and then you had Jackie. Jackie would, someone would say a joke, and especially if Jackie wrote it, it would be, something like that, or, if it really was, and that kind of gets you cracking up. Just the fact that they're making the laugh. So,
where are you going with this? Because
I'm just going to need you guys to start. I need you guys to start being better laughers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't be sitting here carrying everything.
Oh, goody, more pressure.
Well, I will tell you this.
It's no fun if I laugh at my own jokes.
When they put me on the pain medicine, I believe, I'm a little confused because I don't remember much after leaving the emergency room when they finally got me on pain medicine.
It's all a blur.
Oh, yeah. And here's the I'm not a big guy, but I'm not little. Mm-hmm. They got me on one of those little examining beds, and the foot part that comes up, that's hinged and locks in, is broken. Not only broken, it's missing. So I'm rearing in pain. I'm on a 4-foot, 2-inch table in the fetal position, begging for any kind of forgiveness, any kind of relief. And finally, the doctor came in, and it was the head surgeon. I said, "Doc, you got to get me something."
So he had the dirty knees?
He ordered the first painkiller, IV. They put an IV in. And I kind of don't remember much after that, except for going up in an elevator. And I remember Lauren telling me later that a guy tried to squeeze on the elevator. And I kind of remember this. I don't think it was a guy, and I don't think it was a girl. It was kind of a combination. And I remember him saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had a patient on here." Lauren said, I said, "Oh, wasn't the stretcher a pretty good indication of that?" And then he finally squeezes in. And when we stopped to get off, I told him, "Have a nice day. Stop. Thank you for shopping at Macy's." Lauren said the nurse was on her knees, shaking and laughing so hard, almost peeing her pants. But I have no recollection of that at all.
Look at you.
Yeah, no recollection.
So all we got to do is get you an IV of that happy juice.
Yeah.
The show will get a lot funnier.
Yeah, look what he had to go through to get the happy juice.
I got you.
Yeah, thank you for shopping at Macy's. Have a nice day.
So, okay, we're down to the Final Four in basketball. Villanova's still in. And remember last week I wanted
that game tomorrow night? As we record this, it's tomorrow night, I think.
Yes, today's Thursday. We recorded on Thursday, so tomorrow's Friday. All right, so I always remember I wanted to do the top women laughers in podcasting. And I was getting ready to do that, and I saw a tweet today. And I'm like, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. So I decided to make the bracket up of the top 16 women who can't understand normal thinking. So what do you think about that? You want to try that out?
Sure, why not?
You take the lead.
I'll take the lead on this one because all you other guys are afraid.
Well, I'm pulling everything up. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid of these motherfuckers. All right, here we go. All right, so should we start? We'll start out with the number 1 seed. Should I just go through the rankings and then we'll go through and then we'll start? Should I just tell them what everybody is?
The way you have this done, is this who's going up against who?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, here, I'll just go down the bracket real quick. The number 1 seed is Hillary Clinton up against the number 16 seed, Sarah Silverman. Then underneath that, you have the number 2 seed, Rosie O'Donnell, going against the number 15 seed, Sarah Palin. Then you have the number 3 seed, Dr. Jen Guntner. Actually, the reason that there is a bracket at all, going up against Laura Ingraham. Then you have the number 4 seed, Ann Coulter, going against Amy Schumer. You've got the number 5 seed, Tommy Lauren, going against Joy Behar. You've got the number 6 seed, Alyssa Milano, going up against Elizabeth Warren. You have the number 7 seed, Nancy Pelosi, going against Whoopi Goldberg. And then you have the number 8 seed, Debbie Blabbermash Schultz, going against Rachel Maddow. So what do you think of the picks so far?
Rachel Mancow.
What do you think of the picks? Did I do a good job with the picks?
Well, I think there's some mismatches here. I don't know what you were going for.
Well,
as
again,
far as
remember,
matchups.
you have to have, the top seed's got to go against the weakest seed.
Okay.
So, so that's what's supposed to, but there could be upsets.
Mm-hmm.
That's where
because when you got two flaming asshole liberals in the same going up against each other,
it happens.
Yeah.
Right. It's a hard choice, right?
It's a hard choice.
Who's the bigger asshole?
Right. All right. So we'll go Hillary Clinton against Sarah Silverman.
Sarah Silverman.
Over Hillary Clinton? Is this going to be like it was in the real, where it is actually a number 16?
But did you tell people who Sarah Silverman is? They may not know.
Sarah Silverman she is a comedian, and I guess you would say she's a liberal. Mm-hmm. I don't find her as offensive as you are, but she is a bleeding liberal.
She says, the reason I picked her is because she said some really, Hillary Clinton is a politician. But so again, even though she may think the way Sarah Silverman is, she's not really going to like verbalize it. So there's like,
all right, Jimmy, what do you think?
You're getting the unfiltered truth from Sarah Silverman.
Not really that familiar with her, but I hate to see Hillary.
Sarah Silverman used to bang Jimmy Kimmel back in the day.
Okay.
Before he got married. She was his main squeeze. She has a lot of,
I find it hard to knock Hillary Clinton out like that. But
I know.
But I mean, I
like a good upset.
I respect Deuce's opinion of.
So you're going to go, all right,
yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Well, she has said a lot of really over-the-top controversial things.
Did she say that all white women in the middle of the country voted for Trump because their husbands did? Because their husbands made them?
One of her big things as I scan through here is she likes to hide behind that, well, I'm a comedian thing.
Okay.
So whenever like things don't go their way, much like Kathy Gifford.
Use it as a crutch. Yeah.
Okay. It's just like.
But Kathy Gifford's she's not really a comedian.
Well, that's what she always.
That was a joke.
Right. It's a joke.
Okay.
When things don't go there. So she, Sarah Silverman would be like a ball breaker. Okay.
Okay.
And then she's, well, I'm a comedian. But then when it was done to her, she didn't like it one bit. She lives on Twitter. I don't know if
I know. That's where, I tell you what, that's where I got a lot of these from.
Yeah, I don't know if you follow her on Twitter or not, but
I do follow her on Twitter.
Okay.
So I do see, and a lot of these are from people that are on Twitter.
Needless to say, I would not watch any of it.
Of course not.
Yeah, because it's
liberal. We'll talk about.
Well, no, she's just.
It has liberal views.
I don't find her funny. I mean, George Carlin had some pretty liberal views, and he's my favorite comedian.
Okay, I got you.
So I mean, it's not like it's.
No, I see what you're saying. Okay, all right. Let's go to the number 2 seed, Rosie O'Donnell against Sarah Palin. Now, Jimmy, forget about Sarah Palin being a smoking piece of ass, because we all agree that Sarah Palin is definitely a hot piece.
Oh, one of the most attractive senators, yeah.
Well, not only that, but I mean, just for.
Well, why did she make the list? That's what I want to.
Well, again, I needed a 615. Again, we got 16.
Well, but no, I mean, Rosie O'Donnell has said a lot of preposterously stupid things, but
right,
or actions. So what? How does Sarah?
Well, I mean,
how does Sarah Palin go under the list?
I think that she's also said some outrageous things,
such as
I'm not going to go.
That's the thing. Yeah,
again, I made this list 15 minutes before you guys all came down here,
Is a lot of this on dislike of Sarah Palin? That's why
I think she's hot. Listen, I think she's hot as hell. But then again, all of a sudden, she comes up with this goofy bullshit.
Like.
Well, she jumped on the Trump bandwagon with him because I thought she felt like that was going to resurrect her career because she's a hot woman. He likes hot women. I figured she thought she was going to ride that train.
I don't know.
And those coattails shrunk up.
I don't exactly think she was.
You asked me, I'm telling you.
I don't think she started off on the Trump.
I'm not going to get into I don't want this to get all political. Okay.
Well, if you're going to throw it out there,
all right, I hear you. But I'm just saying,
because there were 16,
you can't defend every. You're not going to. I can't have you defend every conservative woman.
But there were 16 candidates. I don't think she started out.
I can't have
Trump.
16 liberal candidates. Okay, I got to throw some conservative ones in there.
Well, I'm just saying. You said she backed
Trump.
She's
a 15 seed for Christ's sake.
Okay.
She's a very low seed.
Well, I'm taking Rosie O'Donnell.
Okay, there we go. All right,
I got to go with that too. Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, that's hands down.
Jesus. All right, here we go. The number 3 seed, Dr. Jen Guntner versus Laura Ingraham.
Jen Guntner.
Yes.
Anybody that has a stinky clan goes on the list.
Well, not only that, but she's actually the reason that I have this on here today.
Ah, she's the catalyst of all shit.
Yes.
She started this. Right.
All right, so there's a tweet goes out, and it says, boy, if I'd have known this guy read this book, I would have saved some time and got up and left right away. And then another one tweeted back at her and said, don't tell me your ex was Speaker Ryan. Speaker
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan. I was going to say Ryan O'Neill.
Speaker of the House.
He's not Speaker of the House. Wrong.
No,
and then she tweets back, Speaker Ryan, he would be such a lazy lover, a bore who couldn't find the clitoris, never mind even trying. And I'm thinking to myself, really? How do you know?
Maybe men can't find her clitoris because it reeks of death. Just saying.
Maybe.
Oh boy,
I don't know.
This is going in the gutter.
Okay.
They just find ignorance. I don't know. I couldn't find it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right, so she moves on. Dr. Jen Gutner moves into the next round.
Yeah, she could possibly win.
Don't say I'm not saying she won't. Now, here's a good matchup. This is going to be a tough one. Number 4 seed Ann Coulter versus the 14th seed Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer.
Not so fast. Because hold everything right there. This is going to be a fist fight because Ann Coulter has said some pretty stupid shit.
Such as?
All I have to do is play her appearance at the roast of Rob Lowe. That would be number 1.
Okay. Which was satire.
Well, first of all, she had at her disposal, she had writers. They were going to write jokes for her. Mm-hmm. She didn't have to bomb as bad as she did, but she figured she would just get up there.
Now, you have to have the truth in lending clause here.
Which is?
As I know that you loathe.
Here we go.
Here
we go. Oh, I do. I think she's
hold that thought there,
big
man.
twat.
There's truth in everything people say. There's a little truth behind everything.
No, okay.
You might make a joke.
The reason I say this, the reason I say this again, I'll tell you why I say this is because the joke writer for the Rob Lowe roast was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he said we tried to write jokes for her. She would not take any of them. She says, "I got this," and she went up there and bombed.
Well, it's because she
sucked. No, because she wanted to promote her book. And that was it.
There's a previous instance with Ann Coulter being promised to be handled by people in the media, like the Time cover magazine that they did with her. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. What they did was they interviewed Ann Coulter for Time magazine, and it was titled "Meet Miss Right." Now, I want you to Google that cover up. Ann Coulter on Time magazine cover.
Here we go.
I'm glad we have one guy well read in this group.
Well, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay, well, you will once. Google that cover up. And they did the same thing to Michelle, who was that congressman? She ran for president in 2008. Bachman.
Mrs. Wright. So she's sitting there on a chair. Oh, my God, look at her legs.
Well, look how they shot that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, they used a fisheye lens. It was radically distorted.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Okay, now, because of that and a couple of other instances, when somebody from a liberal organization or network that she knows, like Comedy Central, or whatever channel that was on,
it's not like
they're going to help her out, what would you do?
I would listen. This is what I would do. Write me the jokes and I'll look at them. And if they're funny, I would say them. She didn't even want them to read them.
Well, because she has a prior history of that.
Prior history? What? They hand you the fucking... here we go again. Every fucking conservative I'm going to hear this shit about.
No, being burned.
You could read the fucking jokes.
All right.
If they're funny or not.
But if how do you know they're getting the best material?
It doesn't matter if they're the best material. If they're funny, they're funny.
If they're going to write jokes for her, they were probably writing jokes for
everybody. You don't know a funny
joke
joke when someone reads... If you gave me 10 jokes,
if they were going to write jokes for her, they were probably writing jokes for somebody else.
They wrote them for the fucking guy, the quarterback from the Broncos.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Peyton Manning.
If they were writing jokes for everybody there.
Right.
And she's been burned before by liberal outlets.
That's a picture. She didn't have any.
How does she know she's getting the best jokes?
She's delivering the jokes.
How does she know she's getting the best jokes?
It doesn't say they're the best. Anything would have been better when she did.
She was burned. Did you see that picture, Jimmy?
I don't even know what you're fucking talking about. First of all.
Because you hate her.
No, that's not.
I like Ann Coulter.
I understand that. Okay. But the thing about it is, this doesn't have anything to do with love and hate of the person. This is about she's at a roast. She's supposed to go up there and be funny. They're going to help her with jokes. They're going to give her the jokes. It's not like they're going to go up there and tell her the jokes or tell the jokes for her when she walks away.
Excuse me.
It's like they're going to tell the jokes or they're going to give her the jokes and then she can figure out if they're funny or not and then use them or not use them.
And get the right delivery.
Yes. But she didn't want any of that. She was just going to go up and do what she did, which she bombed. And then the rest of and everybody else who had joke writers She was just an easy target.
Not to mention that they picked on her.
They picked on everybody
They
there.
really set her up because that was all they talked about on the news spin.
Because she was so bad.
And they went after her heavier than anybody
They went
else.
after, again.
And you think Amy Schumer's funnier. And
Amy Schumer is a hell of a roaster.
Along those lines, Ann Coulter is not a comedian.
Neither is Peyton Manning.
But Amy Schumer is.
I understand that. But
Ann Coulter is a lawyer.
Yeah, but Peyton Manning went up and had a great set. And did a great job because he was helped.
Because he's also Peyton, and he's likable, and he's a Super Bowl winner.
And has never exercised which side he's on. I don't know which side he's on.
No, he's right. He's neutral.
So he's neutral.
Funny joke is a funny joke. I mean, it's not like they took the jokes away from her or changed the routine after she got off the story. They would have wrote her jokes. She could have looked at them and saw whether they were funny or not.
If we're going to use if we're going to use a circumstantial case of why someone or why I'm going with Amy Schumer just because she's Chuck Schumer's niece.
Okay.
Case closed.
So who would be the bigger C word here? This is a tough one. This
Amy
is a toss-up.
Schumer.
I say Ann Coulter.
I'm going with Ann Coulter on this one.
Because she uses I'm sure Amy Schumer would use a whole bar of soap up when she's in the shower.
Okay. All right.
I'm picturing that now.
Unwrapping the new life.
Well, thank God for the next one because it's two liberals. Because I don't know if I can fight with you for
over every one.
Every one of these.
Yeah, you can't match them liberal for
Jesus. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. But I'm going to be, I don't know about this. Number 5 seed is Tommy Lauren from, I guess she was from The Blaze, and now she's on Fox News or whatever.
Well, she's a contributor.
She's a contributor. And Joy Behar.
Joy Behar.
Or Blowhard. From one of the women from The View.
Yeah, Joy Behar, hands down.
She's got 20 years of being an asshole.
You know something, I hate this, but yeah, I think you're right on that one.
Plus, she insulted Jesus, so.
Yeah, can't really. It's Easter.
Anyone that insults Jesus, it's just like, sorry.
There we go.
I hope she's in a mattress that's on fire right now. Just saying.
Joy?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 6, Alyssa Milano from the little girl from Who's the Boss, and the American native
Pocahontas.
Elizabeth Warren.
Warren.
Here we go. 2 liberals, Deuce. Have at it.
Elizabeth Warren.
Because
there's no shot of Alyssa Milano getting into a public office and ruining my life like fuckface Governor Murphy's doing right now in this state.
I talked to Jimmy about that earlier. All right, here we go. Again.
Did you see that fucking gun bill? What
no,
a fucking
right,
I'm thinking about moving out of New Jersey.
I can't vote on that one because I don't know enough about either of them.
All right, hang on. Stick to the
script.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. All right, the number 7 seed, Nancy Pelosi, the minority leader, right?
Yeah. Well, she is still the minority. She was the former Speaker of the House. Now she's the minority leader.
Against another person from The View, Whoopi Goldberg.
Nancy Pelosi.
Buckeye
Nancy all day of the week. I drove by her house in San Francisco.
I'm not a huge fan of Whoopi either. But
no, I'm not either.
But there's no contest. You could put Nancy Pelosi against anybody, and she'd win.
Wow.
When we were in San Francisco and we went on the tour on the cable car, and we drove down the street, it's called Billionaires Row. Not Millionaires, Billionaires Row. And on that street, they weren't allowed to use the speakers because, you don't want to ruffle all those scumbags that hate Ashbury. Sure, use the speakers on the cable car. Tell us what's going on. But on that street, you couldn't do nothing. And just for the fact that she goes out there and tells me how I'm supposed to live my life, how can she even compare what it's like to be you or Jimmy or I when she's a billionaire?
I agree with you there.
And she plays that game.
You would think that as much money she has, she could put her teeth in her mouth a little bit better so they're not slopping around and clacking around in there.
Plus, I think she has 2 glass eyes because they're just rolling around in there like when she's talking. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Which eye do I look in, Nancy?
Okay.
What do I do in here?
All right, here we go. The number 8 seed, Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz against Rachel Madcow.
Now, see, this is a tough one.
This is really, really tough.
Well, that's because he did put him in a good bracket. Now.
This one is really tough because
it's an 8 seed against a 9 seed, so it should be they should be really, really close.
Well, they're both flaming assholes.
Okay.
Okay. Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz is how she's not in jail right now after everything, the mismanagement at the DNC where she
I know.
got out of that.
Right. And then I got to tell you though, Rachel Maddow is
she's a condescending.
She can't understand normal thinking on a daily basis on that show.
Yeah,
my vote is for Rachel Madcow. What do you guys think?
Man, that's a tough one.
All right,
I'm going to go with that, Rachel, as well as on with John. Yeah.
All right, so
I'm outvoted.
You're outvoted, so we'll have to move her over.
Because Debbie, again, with Bug Eye Nancy or Faux Pahanas, when they're in politics, that's what frightens me. You never know how far these people are going to go. I mean, look in this state. This is how fucked up New Jersey is, everybody in the rest of the country. We had a candidate that said, I'm going to raise your taxes, and we're going to, tax the living shit out of you, and we're going to turn it into a sanctuary state, and they voted for him.
I know.
It's like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, it's
we're
like
going to bend you over.
Zone.
We're going to rape you up the ass. Yeah. And then we're going to we're going to come around and we're going to come in your face.
Yeah. And it's just like...
More, please, more.
Yeah, it's just like, I can't believe it. It's like the Twilight Zone.
It really is. And then the first thing, and that asshole, Christie.
Well, he ruined the fucking state for everybody.
Okay, so then
he ruined it.
So then he gets the moron to go and give us the gas tax where they raised it 23 cents a gallon?
Right.
23 cents.
But he says, I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to lower the sales tax 1/8%.
Right, to offset. It dropped from 7% to 6.8. 6 and 5/8 or something
6 and 7/8. Okay.
And then it was going to go down lower
right
in 2 years.
But
fuckface Murphy comes in like, fuck yous, we're raising it right back up to 7, and we're not offsetting the 23 cents gas tax.
Right.
So
there you go.
How is that even doable?
It's no wonder your asshole hurts. Hey, Jimmy, Jesus Christ. I mean,
what I'm saying,
we're all getting an asshole
my
package.
Starting to hurt now. Just talking about this.
All right. Let's not talk about Jersey woes because the rest of the world doesn't care. All right, here we go.
Though they may be intrigued.
Okay. So now we're going into the next round. Sarah Silverman up against Rachel Madcow.
Wait a minute.
What?
You just said Rachel.
Yeah, but this
is next round. We're going to the next round.
We went from the Sweet 16 to
now this is the
Elite 8.
The Elite 8.
I'm going to go with Madcow.
Yeah, I guess I got to go with Madcow too. She can't understand normal thinking more than right. There we go. I don't even want to. I'm going to go back to this last one because this is going to be a fist fight. Okay, Rosie O'Donnell, Joy Behar.
Rosie O'Donnell. Just because what she did to Tom Selleck when she ambushed him because he was an NRA spokesman way back in 1990.
All right, this might be tough. Dr. Jen Guntner, Nancy, teeth flopping in her face, Pelosi.
Glass-eyed Pelosi.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. I got to go Dr. Jen Guntner. I mean, I really, really think that out of the two of them, the one that can't understand normal thinking more than either one, who's the biggest one of the ones who can't understand normal thinking.
Well, based on what I've seen on Twitter, she is very taken with herself.
Right. So can I get a swing vote?
She's kind of self-serving there.
Can I get a swing vote?
I would go with Dr. Jen.
All right, here we go.
All right, there you go.
Ooh,
we got unanimous.
The next one's a powerhouse round. All right, here we go. Ann Coulter versus Pocahontas.
Faux Pocahontas. I'm going with Faux Pocahontas.
All right. I don't know.
But she's going to run in 2020.
She's
intending to run for president.
Really?
Good luck.
Oh yeah. They're talking about her and Bernie ticket.
I'm telling you right now.
Which I hope they do. If they go that far left, then that's even more states Trump will
I don't know.
winning.
I don't think I think he's a one-termer. I think all Democrats are all coming out. They're going to be digging them up this time. All right, let's go with Elizabeth Warren. All right, here we go.
Final four.
Well, that was the final four. We're in the final four right now.
That's what I'm saying. Final four.
Right.
All right, let's go. Rosie O'Donnell versus Dr. Jen Guntner.
Wow.
Oh. Do you cut off your right toe or your left toe?
Right.
You know.
Do you slam your dick in a door or do you slam it in a window? Jesus Christ. This is, that is a tough one. I almost want to flip a coin.
He's looking.
She does have that big pumpkin head, Rosie O'Donnell.
She does. All right, so I have...
Plus, she fucked up the Flintstones because, in the cartoons,
she
Betty was a real piece of ass.
Right.
And they cast big fat Rosie.
Okay. I have a poker chip here. It's a Who's Right poker chip from the Who's Right podcast. I got Anthony, we'll make him tails, and...
Why does Anthony have to be the tail?
The dog's head.
Well, we know who his favorite is.
I was going to go with Dr. Jen. I mean, yeah.
You're going to go with Dr. Jen?
I mean, I was going to go with Rosie.
Okay. It was heads. But
you didn't say who was... What.
All right, so we got Nancy, we got Dr. Jen Guntner versus Rosie O'Donnell. So
I'm going Rosie.
You're going to go with Rosie?
Yeah.
Well, you kind of lead to that because she's got national.
Yeah, she is
coverage.
national.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
Jen Gunter's
Dr.
not.
Jen Guntner's only known on this show.
It might be a little bit inside
and
baseball.
annoyed people. Well, this is inside baseball, but people that listen would know who she is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've got,
You do realize that's what the term inside baseball means.
yes,
Okay.
Pocahontas versus Rachel Mad Cow.
No, it's got to go with faux Pocahontas.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they're both annoying. See, what skews it for me is people that are in office. They can
Right.
set policy. They can make
Yeah,
law.
but I'm just talking about like, I mean,
Yeah,
What
Rachel
comes
Matt-
out of their
yeah.
mouth.
Mad
Yeah,
Cow.
Rachel Matt- yeah.
Every,
Because she's on 5 nights a week. She's got space to fill.
right.
Yeah, I'll go with Rachel.
Okay, here we
That-
go.
That fucking condescending wench.
Okay. We're down to the championship, ladies and gentlemen. Rosie O'Donnell versus Rachel Mad Cow. Now, I got to tell you, I'm having a hard time with this one because I'm really leaning towards Rosie O'Donnell because just of the. Although I almost have a soft side for Rosie because of the way Trump treated her.
She deserved it.
No, before he even ran for president.
She deserved it.
Really?
She's Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, but I mean, he's banging
So
whatchamacallits, porn stars and shit like that.
she can bang porn stars.
She might have.
There's a blind, deaf, and dumb one out there. I mean, I don't know.
It's funny. She's on a show that I watch on Showtime, and it's called Smilf. It's Single Mom I Would Fuck.
Ugh.
And
How'd she get on there?
well, no, she's the mom.
She's not the one.
She's the mom. She's the mother, and she plays a Boston. She actually plays a really good part. I think she's a good actress. It's just when she gets once she gets off cameras when we're having problems here. All right,
She gets all out of control.
let's see. I'm going to give Jimmy. What do you say, Rosie O'Donnell?
Well, I didn't really pick one. I'm kind of torn on this.
Yeah, he does.
one.
Yeah,
All right,
did you
okay.
introduce
I'm
the
going to
one,
let Jimmy
maybe?
vote first. Rosie O'Donnell, Rachel Maddow.
Rachel Maddow, only because Rosie O'Donnell is a comedian more than a politician.
Okay.
And I know you said not to do that, but I can't say.
Well, Rachel Maddow's
It's
more of an opinion journalist.
Right.
Yeah, so
She has an influence more than. It is very tough.
Okay, Deuce, what do you say?
I'm going to go with Rachel Maddow.
All right,
Because I think the star is Rosie O'Donnell's star is setting. Oh, what is she, like 80 now? So
I don't know. I think probably close to that. Wow, look at that. A 9 seed coming out and taking the whole thing. Rachel Maddow is the champion of the can't understand normal thinking bracket. She's the biggest can't understand normal thinking.
Just took that logic center right out and just
right. There you go.
And
All
she
right.
gets, 5 nights a week to get out there and
Right.
and bloviate.
spew her.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I do like watching that YouTube video of her like shell shocked when Trump won. You're not dreaming. This is America. This
Oh
is
my
us
God.
now.
I'll tell you
This
what,
is-
there's some YouTubes on there where YouTube videos where they're all
the lead up. Oh, I watch that every night.
it's amazing. Like
I go to sleep with a smile on my face. George Clooney's on it, and Tom Hanks, and
well,
yes.
there was CNN coverage, and the guy's back and he's looking at the map and he's studying. He's trying to figure out any way that Hillary can win.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and he's got his hand on his chin. He's looking. He's like shaking his head, no, shaking his head. And that's when I knew they didn't even call it yet.
Nah.
And that's when I knew.
Did you ever see the one with that asshole from the Young Turks?
Oh, my God.
Chang or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "What the fuck?" He's all upset.
There's a
was like,
video
that's
of
the
him
best.
where he's like, okay, well they won this, and then it's just getting worse.
Yeah, that's it. He's losing his shit
He's-
progressively more
oh
as
my
the
God,
night goes on.
it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the absolute.
I mean,
best.
it's like that's awesome Trump porn. That doesn't involve Stormy Daniels.
Well, when did you know for sure that Trump had won? When he won Pennsylvania, or
When he won Michigan, and they held off on Pennsylvania for the longest time, and they hadn't called Pennsylvania for him yet, but there were still other states in play that even if he had lost Pennsylvania, the other states that he was likely to win, it would have been a closer electoral count than it was. But we were sitting there. I was up, I think 52 straight hours
oh my God,
watching that because Election Day was on Tuesday. Obviously, it's on Tuesday. So it was my first day back to work. I get up at 2:30 in the morning because I'm a fucking lunatic and I like to shit at home. That's what it's all about, everyone.
Okay.
Okay. I'm like a cat. So anyway, I got up at 2:30, went to work. We worked 12-hour shifts. I got back home at 7:00 p.m. We started watching the election returns, and they called the race finally, like around 3 in the morning.
Right.
And I went in the shower and went to work, and then worked another 12 hours. So I was up a horrific amount of time. I forget what it was. I was up 2 straight days. So by the end of that, I slept till Thursday. That was my next day. Well, I got up at like noon. I felt like such a slug. It was like, it was the best.
I'm telling you, I could not turn it off. I
was transfixed because I knew I was watching. This is history.
I know. I was watching it. I watched it until Trump came out and gave his acceptance speech. Mm-hmm. And it was after Hillary just said, they said,
well, she sent Podesta out there. She didn't even got to thank her supporters or nothing.
Well, because she didn't have anything. Yeah. She didn't have anything written because there was no way that
they said she was losing her shit backstage.
Oh, was it really?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of insight. She was losing her shit.
Why don't they film that?
She was F-bombing everybody. And and then she came out the next day. Well, I accept the results. Yeah. No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't because you're still crying about them.
I mean, even if it's...
How did Sarah Silverman take her out in the first round? I thought it was going to be a Rose. I mean, I thought it was going to be a Hillary Clinton.
Well, Hillary Clinton,
Dr. Jen Guntner.
As bad as Hillary Clinton is, I mean, and I can do more research if we had time. But okay. I mean, she's like said, they used the comedian title as a disguise.
Oh,
and basically, Sarah Silverman. And she goes out there and she's like bad-mouth religious people. She's bad-mouth people that don't believe in killing your baby. Oh, I'm sorry, pro-choice. It's just like, right. and it's now Hillary Clinton may very well think that.
Okay.
But she doesn't really put it out there, and it's just, I just find her condescending and smug and elitist.
Okay, there we go. All right, let's switch it up. Let's get into something different. So I was going, Yes. I was reading something, and all of a sudden there was a news story that popped up, and it said, Ben Affleck's massive back tattoo mocked. So Ben Affleck, I don't even know where this came from, but apparently he has this massive tattoo on his back, and it's like a bird, and I don't know what it is. It goes from his right shoulder, all the way across his back, down to his ass cheek, and it goes to his left shoulder. I mean, 3/4 of his back is tattooed.
It looks like it's a phoenix.
So there was a tweet that I saw. It says, next time you're feeling sad, remember that you're not Ben Affleck. So you probably don't have a tattoo so big and so ugly and so universally ridiculed that you had to lie and say it was only temporary just for a movie when it's clearly not. Mm-hmm. So then I thought to myself, really? I mean, remember that you're not Ben Affleck, okay? Let me just talk about Ben Affleck. In 1997, he started dating Gwyneth Paltrow. Mm-hmm. He was getting Gwyneth Paltrow when she was actually good looking. All right.
See, I think she looks better now.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. No.
I mean, she was a little gangly back then.
She looks good in the Iron Man movie. She really looks good in
the Avengers movie.
That's what I meant. Yeah, the Avengers.
Well, she was in all.
Okay, she was in that one too. All right. So then they break up. Who does he go to next? He starts getting J-Lo. Now, again,
was he with Jennifer Garner too?
Well, he married her. But let me just hold on. Don't get ahead of me. Like,
I don't know. I don't know what the timeline is.
All right. So from 2002 until 2004, he's banging Jennifer Lopez. They end up getting engaged, but then they break up. So he's getting J-Lo, like early J-Lo. Mm-hmm. Not that J-Lo looks bad. I mean, J-Lo, to be honest with you, is probably one of the smoking hot older women that I've ever seen. I mean,
that old bag of bones.
Well, you got to be kidding me. She is amazing.
You said older woman. I thought I'd throw it in
Well, I'm just saying. She's
not even old.
She's in her 40s.
I think she's 44.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll find out.
But I'm telling you, she's
very attractive.
But she's,
But he was there 12 years, 16 years
She
ago.
put 20-year-olds to shame, to be quite honest with you.
He had primo J-Lo is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, he had J-Lo before a ton of other people
and
had
the
J-Lo.
rumor was his people told him that she was bad news. She was going to ruin his career, I remember.
Really?
That. Yeah, oh yeah.
Is that why?
Oh yeah. She was.
All right, so then he breaks up with her. And then he starts dating Jennifer Gardner.
Which probably happened in the movie.
From Alias, who's another smoking hot woman.
Well, he was Daredevil, and she was Elektra.
Right.
Also.
So they met there, and they end up married.
She is 48.
Who is?
J-Lo.
Jennifer Lopez.
Damn, 48 years old.
Yeah, she's only a few years younger than me. See, I could have had that, but I was married.
He's got a great, vivid imagination.
Hold on.
Yeah, because she and I travel in the same circles, as you know.
Right. I hear you. So
She can.
right.
I can't even do it. Go ahead.
So now I'm thinking to myself, so he's got so he's also worth about he's got a net worth of about $75 million. Mm-hmm. All right. Now he's out of, well, I don't know. He's probably got half of $75 million now because he's getting divorced from Jennifer Gardner, but still half of $75 million isn't bad. I mean, he's dating another woman. It looks, he's another smoking hot, I think was the babysitter. Dude, how do you
nannies and babysitters are big in Hollywood.
How do you let a hot nanny come in and work for you? How does that work? Although, you got to think about it.
Robin Williams did that.
Well, then you think about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He did. Well, she was an ugly.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Marie Shriver's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to get someone that looks like.
So I imagine it like
Helga,
tattoo from Fantasy Island.
Hervé Villachez.
Yeah, she looked like a female Hervé Villachez. Arnold's like, I don't care.
I'm honored.
Yeah,
I'm honored.
So then he bangs and knocks up a bit, and then the next thing you know, Jennifer Gardner, now she's out and the new babysitter's in. But again, I don't. I mean, Jennifer Gardner, she's not going to.
I think it's a stupid part on the wives of Hollywood celebrities to bring smoking hot nannies into the house.
Exactly.
Because what do you think is going to happen?
You need one like, what was her name? It was played by the guy that killed
Mrs.
himself.
Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Bring in a Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right.
Robin Williams, yeah.
Bring in a transvestite.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
He ain't going to be banging no transvestite.
Yeah, you just have to worry about him molesting your children.
Oh, that's true, too. Yeah, okay, well.
Yeah, it might not be a good idea to bring in a swinging cock and balls disguised under a dress and a...
You got to pick your poison.
You went too far, but yes.
You got to pick your poison,
Yeah, could you imagine that you're interviewing a nanny and you bring in this smoking hot, high cheekbone girl in her 20s? Yeah,
like you bring in like Tiger Woods' ex-wife.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, she's going to be the nanny.
Sure she is.
Ben's like, all right.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
In 2004, he won the California State Poker Championship, took home a first-place prize of $356,400. So,
he spends that on a big weekend.
Yeah, but see what they're saying now is so now here's the downside. Apparently, he has a little problem with alcohol. He's been treated a couple times for alcoholism. He says he's still working the program.
Okay.
He's only on the third step.
Look up his movie, The Accountant. That's not that old.
I just watched that today. That was a pretty good fucking movie.
Yeah, look that up, the timeline.
Well, for what? What do you want to know?
Oh, he's still making money.
It's an epic movie.
Okay, so he's still making money. So does he really care about what this person thinks about his back tattoo, or a couple people yelling about his back tattoo?
Actually, what he should be worried about is he's being blamed for bringing down the DC cinematic universe. Like,
is that the problem?
Yeah, he was they didn't like his Batman portrayal, and
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like two of his exes, like J-Lo and Jennifer Gardner, they're not a big fan of his tattooed back. Mm-hmm. His back tattoo. Too big.
And why would they care?
Well, it's people ask you, what do you think of it? Jennifer's like, I don't think too many colors. I mean, she said his tattoo has too many colors.
Maybe he's going for that cousin Skeeter out of the trailer park look.
He's got it right there. So I don't think he's really worried about it. But I mean, sitting there, I'm looking at him, and I have pictures posted of him with.
He's been under fire also in that Pound Me Too movement,
right? Yeah, because he grabbed somebody's boob.
Yeah,
and then he apologized.
And then he was known as Butt Man because
he was an ass grabber.
Yeah, he was always a lot of ass grabber around. Yeah,
see, that's not good. Shouldn't be doing that.
And him and Matt Damon, the Great American Bromance, they were real tight with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, see,
so there's a group you don't want to be.
Birds of a feather,
right?
Just saying,
you don't want to be part of that group,
right? All right. Last week we did a story about the autonomous car. Actually, we had autonomous car on the show. Jimmy, you missed it. And then the story broke. They actually released the footage of what happened, what the car camera caught,
right?
And if you look at it, she had to cross a lane to get into his lane.
The girl with the bike.
Right. And the driver, he wasn't even paying attention to her.
Oh, no, he was
looking down.
Yeah, he was looking down most of the time.
Right.
But I said that about people always getting hit. A car is just over 6 foot wide. Maybe not now, but 5 years ago and down, I could leap across. Why would you step in front of a moving car with headlights? I mean,
well, again, you're walking across the road with a bike and a car's coming. Why would you just when you
stop?
Yeah, or why do you think you're going to
or run?
Right. When you get to that lane and you see the cars that close, again, the lady's crossing the street with the bike
In the dark.
and she sees the cars that close. What do you mean? It's to be honest with you, at that point, shouldn't survival,
Kick in, right.
yeah,
Flight
instincts
or
kick
fright.
in?
Yeah.
I mean, you just keep
Pull back.
walking. I mean, how stupid is that?
I still want to know if she was dick dancing around with a cell phone, texting, or
It doesn't look like it. Well, you can
No.
see the video. You just look at the video.
I just looked at the pictures.
Well, look, I put
Yeah,
the
watch
video
the
there so
video.
you could look.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. That's all I got a chance to do today.
But you're,
I
You
walked
can
in-
look right now.
I know.
yeah, but the difference
Okay.
between getting hit and not getting hit is one big step.
Mm.
All right, I want you to stop right now
Stop what you're doing.
and look and watch the video.
Which one's the video?
It says YouTube. It's the
Okay.
bottom one. Watch it.
Exterior view. Let's expand the screen so that Jimmy can see. Is there sound in this bad
No.
boy? Okay. Is that a dude driving
Yes.
with that hairdo?
Well, did you see the bike get in front of the car yet?
Well, he's looking down.
He's looking
No.
down.
All right, go back to the start it over again because it's the very beginning.
Uber today put the brakes on all road testing of its self-driving
This is the
cars
video
after a
feed.
deadly accident. A pedestrian in Tempe, Arizona was killed last night
you
by
know
a
what?
self-driving Uber.
Okay, you didn't go to the YouTube video.
I did, and then what happened? It rolled into the next story.
Okay.
That's what it did.
I got you. Okay. All
Backs
right.
up.
You know how YouTube is. Don't blame me.
I just very combative today. I don't think I like you when you've had 8 beers.
7.
Whatever.
Let's close that out and go back to the link.
Good gracious.
Okay, patience.
Ooh,
So I mean,
she wasn't exactly hustling.
no. So we had autonomous car on last week, and I figure that maybe we should have them back on again to talk about these latest developments. Hello, autonomous car.
What do you guys want again?
Well, I'm looking at the YouTube video over here, and she walked across the whole lane, and you didn't see that at all?
I told you before there's a guy in there, and he was looking down. So, there was a safety there in case I didn't see her, and now you want to blame me.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to have all these sensors. It's not like she stepped off the median strip like you said last week. Nobody could miss her.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, she walked across another lane.
It's like a
Yeah, but she
program.
wasn't doing any dancing. Like, you figure if she gets that close, she could do one or two things. Stop or like, scoot it across the street. She just kept on walking at the normal speed. What am I supposed to do?
It makes me wonder what else we're going to find out. Did autonomous car run a red light, and that's why? I mean,
There's not a red light there. You watching the video?
No,
Listen, you couldn't even watch the video. It took you 6 times to get the right video.
oh, I had the right one, you ruthless murderer.
All I'm doing is my job, and you guys want to break my balls again. I'm telling you, she could have very easily avoided me. I'm driving at 50 mile an hour. She's walking with a bike in a bag.
Wasn't that a 40-mile-per-hour zone?
Whatever I was doing,
so
I
you-
can't go above the speed limit. I'm not allowed. I have a prime directive.
Mm-hmm. So, isn't it true, autonomous car, that you were above the speed limit then?
I don't think so. I
Jimmy,
can't be.
you're a witness. You're a witness. Question autonomous car.
Oh, I don't know. I got nothing on that one.
I'll tell you what, this legal team's worse than the OJ legal team.
The dream team.
Yeah, this is worse than the dream team.
Well, it wasn't a dream team. It was a dream jury.
The prosecution. That guy,
Chris
what's his
Darden?
name? Yeah, Chris Darden, and the other one he was banging.
Marsha Clark?
That's her. Yeah,
How
those
do you
two.
know he was banging Marsha Clark?
Oh, it's all over the papers. Well, you believe I'm speeding, you'll believe anything. Yeah, you two legal geniuses. You really got me scared now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know they
Why
do.
did you turn off the sensor array?
Who did?
You did. It said
I
it
did.
disabled it says Uber
No,
disabled
Uber
safety.
did.
Aren't you Uber property?
Yeah, but they
Ergo,
did.
hence, ipso facto, you in turn
They
disabled
disabled it. I
it.
didn't disable it. I
You
can't
disabled it.
disable it. All I do is what I'm told.
I don't know. That's what the Nazis were just following orders too.
Really, now I'm a Nazi?
Yeah, see? That's,
Okay.
that's whenever you disagree with someone in
See, Kyle.
today's day.
I can tell you this. Just get ready to be probed many times.
Oh,
Your OBD2 is going to get probed.
okay.
Did you get a lot of probing in your...
Yeah, I heard you got a good probing over the weekend. Heard more people had their finger up your ass than a gay nightclub.
It's your turn.
Here, let me tickle that pickle and see if I can get anything out of that.
All right.
Doctor said, hey, I want to put another finger in. He said, what do you want to do, Doc? Whistle? All right, that's it. I'm here all week. Try the veal.
All right, autonomous car. Thanks. There we go. I don't know. What do you think about that, Anthony? There you go. It's funny. All right.
What the hell was that?
Exactly.
Oh, my.
But that is weird. I wonder why they disabled that. That's going to break that company.
Uber?
Oh, yeah.
I would say.
Now that it comes up that they disabled that.
Well, my thing is, why would you disable anything, number one? Number two, that poor guy that was in the car, I don't think he even saw her until he heard the thump.
Yeah,
No, you see his face at the last.
Yeah, but the way he looked up,
yeah.
I think he heard it and then looked up and it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, she probably screamed and he.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too late then.
But it makes me wonder if this is going to become a ping pong. I think the car was a Volvo, and it has that safety system in it, like drunk driver assist and everything, like I talked about last week.
Warning in the lane,
wonder if
something's in your lane.
Right. I wonder if it's going to become a ping pong match between Volvo and what Uber installs on the car.
Well, what is the thing you're talking about? What was disabled, you said?
Well, go ahead. I'll pull it up.
A sensor array or something like that
There's something I just.
How in the hell could you disconnect that on a self-driving car?
Well, I think it's. I didn't read it. Let me read it now while you guys discuss.
The driver needs to have his eyes on the road anyway, especially with the experimental stage.
From what I skimmed through, it
Hands on
sounds
the wheel,
like
tape his eyes open.
it's. Let me find it. It looked like from what I skimmed through just now that Volvo has a safety system.
As
and,
well as
and that was disabled, and Uber put their own. I'm wondering if they disabled that to make Uber's system work. So, it says Uber is accused of disabling software in the self-driving car that struck and killed a person.
they thought that maybe it was duplicate. It would.
Uber was accused Tuesday of disabling the software in the self-driving Volvo vehicle that fatally struck a woman.
Conspiracy theory here coming now.
Active PLC, the company that makes the collision avoidance technology, told Bloomberg that Uber disabled the software in the self-driving SUV that killed Elaine Herzberg as she was crossing the street. We don't want people to be confused or think it was a failure of the technology that we supply for Volvo, because that's not the case. Has nothing to do with the Uber test vehicles autonomous
so they're
driving
just
system.
clamoring so they can get out of the lawsuit.
Well, that's what it makes me think.
Yes.
Is this going to become a ping pong match between
Right.
what Volvo provides standard with the car and what Uber put on the car?
Well, as soon as they get a lawyer for this lady, her family, the estate of this lady, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to sue the road. They're going to sue the guy behind the wheel.
Oh, they're going to come after everybody.
Uber, they're going to sue Volvo.
It's Volvo's bad luck that they got chosen for this. And
Right.
Volvos are one of the safest vehicles you can drive.
Well, the driver in the car is fine.
Yeah.
So it's still a safest
Well,
car.
I mean for 5-star crash safety
Right.
rating and all that, and
Yeah.
they're pretty safe cars.
Not
Of course, if you're driving a Sherman tank,
Right.
it's a pretty safe
they're
car.
not,
too.
they're not safe if you get hit by one.
No, not at all.
Right.
Well, other companies have that. Is it Mercedes? And I believe even Nissan has that
I
warning.
got it in my Chevy Impala.
right. But
Does it apply the brakes, though?
Yeah.
Yours
Yeah, it's
will.
got collision
again,
avoidance.
here's my thing. How much does the person walking across the street, how much, I mean, I know they're dead, but where is their skin in the game? I know it's on the
their
bumper.
skin in the game is in the modern day. It's it's really, really weird. They build all these roads and pave them for cars, but everybody else but a car has the right of way.
Right.
It's pedestrians, then bicyclists, then cars.
Right.
That's the chain of. And it's funny, like you can even expand that even bigger. Like, you know who has the right of way in vehicles? It's boats. If you're in a car and you come up to a bridge that's a drawbridge, the boat has the right of way. It's boats, then trains, then pedestrians, and then cars are dead last. But yet, ironically, they build all these roads for cars.
Right.
You know, so why are we short shrift? The guy in the car, that is.
Right. I'm just saying. It's like,
doesn't
when
make
we were,
sense.
you teach your kids how to look both ways, don't walk out in traffic. Nowadays, people are just like, fuck him, he'll stop.
There was just someone that got plowed over by a train. I saw it in a video a couple of days ago. It was in somewhere in the world, maybe in this country, I don't know. And this guy in a truck crossing the railroad tracks thought he was going to go faster than the train. Didn't work.
Didn't work?
No, he's lucky he got the trailer over the tracks because it wiped out the whole trailer.
Right.
That train sailed through. I mean, it was.
They can't stop.
No, and not only that, I mean, it was moving
80.
Yeah, I mean, it was up there. It was like
That's a big argument about the high-speed trains going through any kind of
rural area, any crossings.
Right,
Yeah.
where there are people close by. Yeah, in the middle of nowhere, that's fine.
Yeah. It works in Nebraska, one of those states no one's really using, but
right.
Montana, sure.
So my thing is that even though this car hit, I'm wondering if there was anybody driving, would they have seen them? Would they have stopped?
it looked like it was a pretty well lit road. The guy behind the wheel,
she came across the full freaking lane.
He's going to come under a lot of shit. I feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah, he was looking down. See, but that's the problem. Anytime you're in a car and you're not really driving, you're not really paying attention. Just think of it if you're in a passenger in a car.
Right, but if you got
driving.
You never rode with the Jimmy.
Yeah, but if you're in a car that's doing the driving, it's like, once again, like I hate to beat a dead horse, it's people and their insane attachment to fucking cell phones. You know, because everything else goes right out of their fucking head. It's like, oh, I got a text. What's that? Snapchat, Instagram. It's like,
that's true.
Eyes on fucking path. I mean, you see those videos all the time of people walking in malls or walking on the street and they walk in the poles, they trip in the water fountains. Yeah, they're hysterical because they didn't die. Right. But it's like, and now you're going to get in the car and do that?
No, I agree with you. And again, it's tough to do because now we use our phone as more of an entertainment system. Me listening to podcasts and stuff like that. I'll put a podcast on if I'm driving, and then the podcast is over. I have a thing on my dashboard where the phone mounts. Yeah. So I can hit the button and then just scroll up and hit another podcast and play. Yeah. It's like doing the same thing if you're going to hit the radio button.
Yeah, my car, it's got that big in General Motors. They call it the infotainment screen.
Right.
All right. And you hook your phone right up. Every icon on my phone pretty much pops up on there. So when you called me to see where I was, accept.
Right.
Hey, John, what's up? I'm on my way.
Right.
I can switch back and forth from music, the podcast, to the weather report.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm not.
But you are taking your eyes off the road to do that.
No, because it's up high here, and you got controls on the steering wheel.
Oh, you have steering wheel.
Yeah, so you can manipulate.
His is no more different than adjusting the radio.
Right.
But then again, you ever watch people? Again, distracted driving is horrible. You got people. You ever look at in the morning, women are putting on their makeup.
I've seen guys shaving in the car.
I saw a guy with a beard.
Yeah.
Shaving with a
bib. Yeah.
And his breakfast.
Yeah, I'm not. I did that. I saw that. I saw a guy shaving. I said, I see it all the time. You bring an electric razor? No. This guy had shaving cream on his face.
Get that in a car?
In a car.
Wow.
On 295. I was just outside of Wilmington.
Get out of here. That's crazy.
Yeah, I like to see that guy cut his head off when he gets in an accident.
With electric razor?
He had
I was going to say electric razor.
He was wet shaving, not dry.
How do you wet shave in a car?
Man.
I don't know. Whatever. All right. I think we're done here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've had enough.
I have had no dust-ups in social media for you?
No.
What's wrong with you?
I have no idea.
Slacker.
I know. I was very good this week. There might be, once I put up this bracket of the can't understand normal thinking, there might be a dust-up over that.
You think Dr. Jen's beta male friend?
Well, again, I don't know whether I should. I don't know whether I should tag her in this.
Well, that's usually a good start.
Like if I tag her in this and she sees, if I put the bracket in there.
Wow, you're throwing the gas on the fire. But.
Right, I don't know if I'm going to tag her.
Yeah, like that stopped John before.
Although it doesn't stop anybody else from tagging her. Mm-hmm. So,
hey, I've done Dr. Jig.
Yeah. Look what the guys are saying about you now.
Hey, you know what? I heard something. Twitter's going after people with multiple accounts. How is this going?
Okay, so
how's this going to affect you? With
all right, so it's
man of 10,000 Twitter accounts.
It's not. They're not going after people with multiple accounts, or they might be. I haven't heard that story yet.
I thought.
But what I heard was what they're doing is they're going against people that have multiple accounts using the same tweet. So, if I had 5 accounts and every account said, "Oh, by the way," and and I put the same tweet on 5 accounts.
Okay.
Listen to the Brand X podcast. Listen to the Brand X podcast. Listen to the Brand X podcast. I don't do that.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say you have 5 accounts.
Yes.
And in one you put whatever you're going to put on it.
Right.
You can use the other 4 to retweet it.
Yes, I could, and that's actually acceptable.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
What they're trying to get you.
What's the difference?
What it's all has to do with that stupid shit with the Russian bots.
With the bots.
Right. And then people think that the whole election was thrown by Twitter because people were marketed to, which is ridiculous.
I think the Russians spent $100,000 after the election.
Right.
So it's like, how did that impact the election?
Well, again, what they said was that they used the person that's really in trouble with this is Facebook. One of the things that's going on.
There's some deep shit right now.
Here's the other thing that I heard today. All these social media accounts are all losing their mind now because they're so worried about, I guess, the liability of what's going on here. Mm-hmm. And so they're doing all the stuff where they're making the product no more, it's not fun to use anymore. Mm-hmm. Like I'm 2 seconds away from just disabling my Facebook account.
Mm-hmm. You'll be happier.
I'm telling you, there's nothing on there anymore. I don't see anything that's on there anymore. And then what will happen is, like, I'll go into Facebook with my phone, a story will pop up from a friend of mine, and I'll go, oh, what's that? It will automatically update, and then I can't find that story again. So it's crazy. And then I'll see the same stories over and over and over every day.
Well, that's what I said to you a couple of weeks ago. I have all these friends on Facebook, and I see things from the same 25, 30 people.
Right. So now what's going on is, there's a lot of places, a lot of apps that are out there like Buffer and Hootsuite and Edgar. What they would do is you could take these tweets and you could recycle. Mm-hmm. So they would recycle. Well, all these companies, they all have to be disabled because Twitter's like, you can't do that anymore. So they're disabling. And matter of fact, one of our friends, Emily Prokop, she had, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw she was in Twitter jail or something.
They disabled her account, or they put her in Twitter account, or Twitter jail, whatever, because of this. I have mixed feelings for this. As a Twitter user, I'm for this because it cuts down all the retweets and retweets and retweets. Okay, so I see more in the Twitter feed from other people because it's constant, it's always rolling.
Right.
But with Facebook, it's just there's nothing really there anymore.
Well, not only that, have you noticed that unless someone posts something really obvious, like, "Hey, here's a picture of my dog, first day of spring," that picture will get like dozens and dozens of likes. But if you just put something
political,
no, not necessarily political, is like that's why I've been backing off because it just became very toxic. I mean, you might just throw like hey, it appears like it's going to be a nice day. I think I'll go for a walk. And I'm observing like people that used to do that stuff. There'd be like comments and there might have been like 70 likes. Mm-hmm. You see like 8 likes.
Right.
So like what happened? Did this person become all of a sudden unpopular?
Yeah.
Because I think it's getting to the point now on Facebook that people are even afraid to even like or comment on something.
Not Johnny.
Well, no, because like I said to me, you wind up in a fight with a stranger, someone you don't even know.
I thought, yeah. Some strangers have been in a fight with me. Okay, so here's what happens. So now we have this whole gun debate going on with the Second Amendment and these kids that are from the school and all that. So now there's people that are attacking the kids. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, the kids went through this thing where there was a shooting in their school. It was very traumatic. I understand that. So they're allowed to have an opinion. Mm-hmm. All right. And they're allowed to voice their opinion. I don't have to listen to it, okay, or I don't have to agree with it, or I don't want policy, but they're allowed to go and do this. So, but what happens is, so then I'll have half of the people that I follow on Facebook, they're all pro gun control. These kids are fantastic.
So they're anti-constitutional.
They're anti-constitutional, right? Then I have the other half of my friends that are pro Second Amendment, pro-constitutional. There you go. So we wonder where Deuce is at on this whole scale.
Well, see, I'm playing.
Okay, so I'm doing the same thing. I'm with you.
Well, I'm playing them. That's the game that the lefties play. Mm-hmm. So, but when you turn it about on them, they don't like it.
Right. They're using their First Amendment right to take away our
my Second Amendment right, or any other right or
So right. So then when we take our Second Amendment right and stop their First Amendment right, they're not going to be too happy. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Guns defeat bullies.
Right. Exactly. So that being said, I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, that being said,
you said half and half.
Half and half. So now they're fighting back and forth between these two. So then I'll see something, and then some stupid moron will go on there and say, AR stands for assault rifle.
Yeah,
and I'm like, listen, nitwit, go back and get your facts straight, and come on back when you actually know something.
Right.
And the next thing you know, I'm in an argument with them because they're matter of factly just spouting bullshit, and
it's what they spoon fed.
So then I have to go in there and say something, and the next thing you know, I'm back and forth with somebody.
If it's a friend,
somebody that I don't even know.
Well, that's just it. If it's someone I don't even know, I just like,
right.
But if it's someone and I don't even generally intercede anymore. I used to intercede just to correct a historical error.
Deuces.
Well, not the grammar. I mean, I would do that just to break balls.
Right.
I am a grammar Nazi. I admit that. But no, if someone would throw something out there, like you said, AR, okay. And I said, well, no, that's not correct. And I would just matter of factly state it, and I would do that to someone I know. But now the problem is somebody else that I don't even know sees me correct, and they're going to like wade in, and it's just not worth it.
Right. So I have a friend.
That's too much grief.
I have a friend, and she's very pro non-constitutional.
She's very unconstitutional.
Very unconstitutional.
She likes to pick and choose your rights.
Right. So
her rights are sacrosanct.
Exactly.
Yours, on the other hand.
She doesn't understand why anybody needs a rifle that shoots that many bullets that fast or whatever. I don't know. Whatever she thinks of, right? So then she put something up after that rally, and she tagged me in it, poking the bear.
Like she's doing you a favor.
Right. So then I saw something where there was a bunch of sheep being herded down the road, and I saw that. It was the rally, it's all these sheep. So then I tagged her in it, and she's like, "Oh, poking the bear." Yeah, that's right. I'm poking the bear. But what happens is, this is what I can't stand. All right, so I say, again, these guns are not made for hunting. They're made for protection. They're not made for protection of your house.
Well, some people do hunt with them.
Yeah, they're good for hog hunting.
Who hunts with an AR-15?
No, they're good for hog hunting.
Yeah, they're very good. It's a very good. There's very little. Your hunter is very little recoil.
Yeah, you hang out of a helicopter. You haven't seen that yet?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I have seen them hang out of helicopters and shoot.
Did you remember we talked about it? Was the guy's last name was Kirsch? Kuntner or something. We were making fun of him.
Right.
And he said that he had PTSD just from firing an AR-15.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Did you ever see the video that someone shot to rebut that
yes.
like he was all bruised up? And did you ever see the video of the guy with the AR-15? He's holding it in his right hand, pulling the trigger
like a pistol
while resting the buttstock on his lips.
Okay.
There's very little recoil.
It's all done through the action.
Yeah.
It's all absorbed through the
So they're very, very good hunting rifles.
I've never seen anybody hunt with an AR-15.
Because we live in this fucking state.
Okay.
You can't really can't hunt anything with a rifle.
So
here.
if you're going to go down there and you're going to try to exterminate hogs, because they're not really hunting hogs down there, they're exterminating.
You have to, yeah.
Because they're all over the place. So they use a helicopter, they go up in the helicopter, and they shoot these hogs because
it's on my bucket list.
They're tearing up the farmland, they're killing livestock, they're doing so.
They'll kill you. Yeah, they'll eat anything.
They'll eat anything. So they're exterminating hogs. So I guess you can use it for that. That's fine. All right, that's one case of that. But basically, if I had one, it would be for protection. And it'll also be for protection in case somebody decides to take away everybody's First Amendment rights. They're going to be looking for the people that have guns and all to protect the First Amendment rights. If this ever goes down, which I think it can, to be honest with you, whatever. So we get into this big thing back and forth. And I say to her, okay, tell me, explain to me your point of view. All right. Tell me how and they have nothing. They never have, never can explain.
Just because.
Right.
Somebody put that notion in their head.
And I'll lay down, in other words, for school shootings, I say, how is banning this gun, how is that going to stop school shootings? What are you going to do about the guns that are already there? They're already out there. What are we going to do about them? Silence.
Deuce probably has the stats. Aren't handguns used more?
What do you think? You think this guy is like an encyclopedia?
Yeah, no,
over
he
here.
does.
I've never seen anybody. It's just, Deuce knows this. Deuce knows that.
Yeah,
you have the stats
on handguns?
80%.
What?
80% of firearm-related crimes. It's above 80% handguns are used.
Yeah. Okay.
So less than 20%.
Right, and you can do as much damage with a handgun as you can do with an AR-15. Okay. So, and they're easier concealed.
Right.
Again, but that's not even it. You can hear the people now saying that they're coming for the Second Amendment. You can hear that. You can hear them say it.
Well, it's what they.
It's slipping out now.
Well, you heard what Justice Stevens said.
Yes.
Yeah. Good luck trying to do that.
Right.
Because it's so hard to repeal an amendment.
Right.
Okay. So, and I'm glad it's that it's out in the open. Because this is what they always say, oh, no, nonsense. We would never be for that.
Oh, we're not for that.
No.
Oh, yes, you are. And there was a sheriff in, I forget what other county, and then he said something about, we're going to go after this, we're going to go after the guns and all. And then he said, well, they always say, you can have my guns when you pry it out of my cold, dead hand. And he went, okay. So I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go that route?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to end well for you.
Because it's that's actually now and I hope run on that, because if you want to like galvanize Republicans to like show up out, tell people, run on the platform that Republicans and people and
moderates,
right, and other, not even moderates, Democrats that live in red states, that rely on hunting and everything. And it says, you tell them that we're going to come and take your guns and your rights away from you. You want to get people to show up at the polls in the midterms against your.
I see these nitwits that are out there in their camouflage and they're all like, we don't need an AR-15. We hunt with shotguns and we can only have 3 shells to hunt a goose. And we don't need 30 shot max. Again, It's not for hunting.
First of all, if you're using a rifle to take down a goose, that's called poaching.
Well, and who shoots a rifle in the air after, you miss one, you kill somebody in the next town. Idiots. Yeah. Just ridiculous. I mean, you can always trot out some moron.
Yeah. Well, see, the reason they're going after the AR-15 is because it's an easy target, because you can prey on people's fears basically because they don't understand how a gun works.
Right.
I mean, what was it? CNN came up with the term fully semi-automatic.
Fully semi-automatic.
Did you see that video?
No. Yes.
Okay.
Here's a fully semi-automatic gun. As many times as I pull the trigger, it fires a shot.
And my revolver works the same way.
Right.
Every time and there's only, but that's the thing. It's salami legislation, one slice at a time. If you start with the AR-15s,
then it's going to be something else.
Like, well, you know what? That guy can shoot that bolt action rifle just as fast as that guy with the AR-15 can.
It'll be that.
We don't really see why anyone needs a bolt action rifle. Right. So let's take that, or a lever action rifle, or next, it's,
right. Again,
that's how they get it.
What's happening right now is things are starting to swing. Before, this country grew up, with people hunting and owning guns and all that stuff. Now you've got these different areas and stuff like that. They've never grown up around them, don't know anything about them. They're scared to death of them.
Gun-free zones are the big, I think, people, because we only had gun-free zones in this country since the mid-90s.
Right.
And look at the stats. That's when all the bullshit started. Because what they did was they created OSHA for criminals. Hey, a gun-free zone. This is a safe working environment. I can blow people away here and not worry about getting fired back at.
Right.
So, duh.
So, that being said, it's just been a tough thing on social media to go back and to listen to one side and the other side. Because I do believe, I know you think I'm a bleeding liberal, but I do believe that I'm more moderate than anything.
I never said you were a bleeding liberal. I said you're a liberal in training.
There we go.
Or a liberal in waiting.
There we go.
You're just
Here's the problem with I feel with the gun legend. This year, it's the AR-15, and it's that slippery slope. Next year, what is it?
Right. What do they decide that you can't have?
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Again? All right.
Yes.
If you are looking for some other great independent podcasts to check out, we highly recommend these podcasts. The Evening Radio Podcast with Jason and Mindy, part of the Hush Your Face Network, and you can also hear the difference between us with the aforementioned Jason and Mindy and Stephanie and David.
I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam, always funny. Check them out.
The Unwritable Rant with Juliet Miranda. Hear her adventures, usually involving bourbon.
And then it's Married as Fuck with Randall and Brooke, and they just got their equipment, their new equipment, so they're not using the Snowball mic anymore. And I just listened to their other episode. It sounds pretty good. And I'm sure they'll be doing some tweaking, so that should be fun.
The Robin Slim Show with Robin Slim and Sleepy Lucas, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
Who's Right with Doug and Anthony. All's well with Doug and Anthony again. Part of the Hush Your Face Network.
Until next week, where John will find a way to fuck that up.
Of course.
Pettit Miller's Show with Matt Miller and Viva La Pedros is no more. They are rebranding. There's no period here, so John fucked up. The new name is Generation Offended.
There we go. I'm looking forward to it because I haven't heard from those guys in a while. They haven't put anything out.
Yeah,
so
I was wondering. I thought just because I know they go on holiday.
I think Ped is leaving the show. I don't know. I don't know enough to know enough, but I think Ped's leaving the show. I think it's going to be Matt Meller and somebody else, and they're changing the name. They're changing the branding. Doug from Who's Right actually did the show art for him. So
there, I put a period in there,
you
for
go. Thank God. Thank God you did something.
That's going to bother the shit out of me.
The Story Behind with Emily Prokop.
Horribly Awkward with Sean Fuller, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
Toe on a Trigger, I think. I don't know. I haven't heard from them in a while. Daniel, Mike, and C3K, Courtney 3000. See, the problem is right now, Daniel's getting it on the regular. All right, so he's all hooked up. He's got a girlfriend now.
Well, I don't know what you mean.
Her name's Trinity.
Yeah.
So he's getting it on the regular. So now I think he's getting a little lazy. Like
getting
he's not
what?
doing. He's getting What do you mean he's getting? He's getting sex on the regular now.
Oh, okay.
All right. So now all of a sudden it's like this. The
yeah.
podcast is taking like second fiddle or whatever. So he's not even. It's nothing. Nothing's going on.
Okay. So let's say right now,
Go ahead.
25 years ago, Gwyneth Paltrow comes walking down these steps and she wants to bang your brains out. You mean to tell me you're going to do this weekly?
I would do it. I would do both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy?
I would do both.
I'd fit both.
Yeah, see? Us Buchanan boys, we can
Multitask.
fuck and talk.
I don't know.
Multitask.
Maybe Trinity has a trick pelvis. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about Trinity. There we go.
Everyone has a podcast with Adam and Brian.
The Bold and Belligerent Podcast with Lauren, Josh, Luke, and Adam.
The Hunan Show with Rocky, BB, Drew, and Josh.
And the Jeff Pert Show with Jeff and Gary. Hey, before we get out of here, I want to let you know that we have changed where we get our gear right now. We have T-shirts and mugs over at We Have Merch. It's wehavemerch.com. Go over and check it out. There's a lot of different podcasts over there. There's the Rob and Slim Show, the Unwritable Rant, the Who's Right, Gareth's Random Ramblings, the 410 Murderland podcast, Oddball, Shooting the Shiznits, the Mole Man Show, and Pop Culture Merch. So it's all over at wehavemerch.com. Check it out. I'm actually having a shirt come in because I want to test it. I bought a shirt from him, which is, I got it for the Who's Right podcast. I bought a shirt off of them, and it's a really nice shirt. Mm-hmm. And I'm having mugs sent in, so I'm going to check them out. But I think, this guy's been, I sent him the logo, and within 15 minutes, he had the website, he had the page ready to go on the website, and it looks good. So check it out over there, and it also help out the show.
Any beer drinking vessels?
No, not yet. No. If you want to, we could maybe.
I'm not advocating that everybody should drink. It just worked for me.
I see that. So maybe we can talk to him and see if we can get like a Pilsner glass. Would you want or a mug? You want a mug or a Pilsner glass?
Either or. I'm easy.
Okay.
I'm a tree. I can bend.
I got you.
Some people are stumps. They don't bend at all.
So, go over to wehavemerch.com. Check out our stuff over there. We'd appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the show, we appreciate that. Can you do us a favor? Please tell a few friends, even share this episode with your social media. It's easy to do. We are on all these social media platforms. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/BrandXPodcast, on the Twitter, @BrandXPodcast, on Instagram, @BrandXPodcast. Go over and follow and like and share and hang out with us. Talk to us. We would love it if you joined in on the conversation. You can email us at brandxpod@gmail.com, or you can call into the Time Yours voicemail, 856-322-2473. Leave a message, and we will feature you in our next Time Yours segment.
But you won't.
Yeah, you won't. You won't call. You never call. You never write.
Pussies.
Yeah, you pussies. Thank you so much for listening. Come on back next week for another episode of the Brand X Podcast.
Suckle Daddy Sugar Ball.
Will you shut the fuck up so I can end the recording?
That's it. We're just getting into it.